Need that. Lindsay Huddleston, Sports Psychology Solutions, back in the building. We're over at Eastern High School, the Don Johnson Fieldhouse, wrapping up the final week of the Eastern Quakers Summer Basketball Camp. Got a face familiar to you guys if you're on the basketball scene. If you don't know about this face and this name, you've been under a rock. I'm here with Coach Steve Finamore, my guy, representing the Sexton Big Reds, and we got Emanual Jones, rising senior, representing. How you doing, man? Good. Coach, how you doing?
Doing great, man. Thanks for being here.
Good. You're the pro being out. I'll start you out with this so we can get Nunu time to get ready. You know, we're going to come to him. Coach, into your second season at Sexton, right?
Yep.
Give us the state of affairs, what's going on, how things have been going with the transition over there.
Well, the number one thing we've done is we've kind of changed the culture and the mentality of our players, teaching them the right way to do things on and off the court. You know, we talk about academics first, behavior second, and basketball third. And the one thing I've learned at Sexton, and it's a little over a year now, is these kids are wonderful. They love to be coached. They want to be coached. They want to be pushed. They want to be driven. You know, there's no entitlement. There's no pouting. There's no whining. You know, every now and then you see it, but it's nothing to worry about. Because I'll tell you the one thing, Lindsay, we were 2-19 last year, but I'm not ashamed of that, because the most important thing, bigger than 2 wins, every single day, the day after a game, they didn't miss a practice, especially the young men you have here, right here. Yep.
They showed up. That's good, Coach. You and I have had some time to talk offline. We have our informal Starbucks meetings and all those kind of things. Yeah. You talked about the spaghetti dinners after, your whole family getting involved.
Everybody.
You know, you talk. How much of an enriching experience has this been for you the last 2 seasons?
It's very enriching. You know, we had Eric King bring team meals for home games. My wife, some local people from the area would bring snacks for the bus. Like, say we have to go to Grand Rapids or go to Grand Ledge, we always have snacks for the guys. So it's a good way to learn about them off the court, because right now we're in a society where a lot of people think it's just about basketball and scholarships.
Right.
Now I know that's important, but the relationships come first, because the players got to know that you trust them and you care about them.
Sure, and I think you're doing that. Emmanuel, we're here with your coach right now. He's saying great things about the change. You know, you're a senior, so you saw that 2-19 season. You saw a season before that. Now you have this final year to be with a coach like Coach Finamore. What has this been like for you so far?
It's been great. He really changed the program, because I played varsity the year before he came, and we really wasn't doing nothing. We didn't have no lunches. Coach really didn't care about us. Like, he didn't really care about the grades, but he cared about us, but not as much as Coach Finamore did.
You see a different kind of connection that's important. You know, also tell me, what is it like trying to be a good teammate, trying to motivate, you know, those people who are in your same age group? Coach Finamore can have an expectation, you know, because we're kind of a different generation, but what is it like for you trying to talk to your generation of athletes and kind of help them along the way as a leader?
It's hard, but it can be easy, too. It's just how you go at them.
That's how you go at them? Yeah. So talk about that a little bit more. How do you go at them when you do?
When you go at them, just make sure you're not yelling. Just make sure you come at them respectfully.
Sure. Coach, when you hear a young man, you know, who's a nice young man, I've known him for years, a great young man, is obvious. When you hear him say those things, you know, how do you work to try to translate that to other players? How do you work to try to translate that to parents? You know, how do you try to work to translate what he's representing to the greater Sexton basketball community?
You know, there's 2 types of leaderships. You know, there's vocal and there's quiet. And the quiet side, you lead by example. You know, like Nunu comes to practice, and we had a young man, Rashad Greenwood, last year, did the same thing. You know, he was on varsity the year before. Those guys came to practice the following day after a loss. So, but their work ethic showed the younger guys. We had a few sophomores on our team. We tried to bring a 9th grader up. So you want to try to have the juniors and seniors lead by example, because sometimes kids will yell at their teammate, and that's not the right way to go about it. You know, you got to talk to them the right way. Let the coaches yell and shout, but Nunu, he's a quiet leader, and that's what we want to build. We don't just want 1 leader, 2 leaders.
Sure.
We want 12 guys that are leading.
Sure.
You know, so this way you don't have to worry about nobody.
Right.
Everybody's in the gym. The workouts, you know, we practice on Mondays and Wednesdays. These guys are here. We were there yesterday for an hour and a half in the gym working out.
Wow.
So they're the quiet leaders at Sexton.
That's great. You know, Coach, before we wrap up, I got Coach Steve Finamore here representing Sexton Big Reds, and Emanual Jones, a rising senior right now. Coach, before we wrap up, you know, when you talk about that and what to expect, if I were able to put you on a committee basketball committee that was going to influence basketball decisions throughout the pros, college, and high school, what would be one of the main things you would want to talk about? I've been asking all the coaches that too.
I would say character of the players, you know, the work ethic, the accountability, and the families. You know, I went to Rashad Greenwood's open house on Saturday for a little bit, and everybody was just like helping each other out. They were saying, it was so friendly. You know, you go to a place where, you know, you don't know anyone, but the way they treat you. So also treating people would be another thing. I think sometimes we put these kids on pedestals like the big time players, but I think we have to explain to everybody, hey guys, middle of the road, late bloomers, you got to be careful for those guys because they're going to sneak up on you, like Fred VanVleet for the Toronto Raptors.
Absolutely,
you know?
No one saw him coming.
So I think if you sit on a panel, you want to talk about character, get the job done in the classroom, and treat the teachers and treat the coaches with respect.
That's important, Coach. I don't think it's fair that we only had these few minutes. You and I have to sit down and chop it up a little bit more.
Absolutely.
So, Nuno, as we sign off, anything you want to say to your Sexton Big Red family, your teammates, your family, and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we're gonna try to change. We're gonna try to change the tradition, and we're gonna hopefully get more dubs than we did last year.
We'll have more than 2, right?
That's
but we were close. We were in a lot of games last year. We were in a lot of them.
I bet. That's good. We got to keep an eye out for the Sexton Big Reds. Coach Finamore, my guy. Good
Thank
to
you,
see
brother.
Okay,
Thank you.
Nuno, best of luck to you, okay? All right, we'll see you guys. Take care.